internet has evolved almost 360 degrees, and so has the journalism. And when we combine the two, as if we talk about digital journalism, then the results are pretty revolutionary. Today I'm really glad to have with me Mr. Yusuf Omar, who is the mobile editor with Hindustan Times and who is exclusively known for his Snapchat stories. Before I connect you with Mr. Omar, I would also like to add that recently he has been declared as the International Journalists Network, that is IJNet Journalist of the Month, September 2016. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your Periscope. It's good to be here. We are live right now. We're going to be discussing Facebook Live, Snapchat, and the emerging platforms in journalism.
So can you please tell us about the Snapchat stories? What exactly is Snapchat stories and how does it work?
Absolutely. So Snapchat is perhaps the fastest growing social media platform in the world right now. It's predominantly skewed towards your sort of 15 to 25, a very young demographic. But what it is quite a powerful content creation tool. You essentially load up a series of videos or photos which are 10 seconds in length, and those become a sequence of shots which end up becoming a video. Most people don't realize that they're actually video editing in a linear fashion every time they do a Snapchat story. I think it's interesting in terms of distribution and the amount of people that are on it, but it's also interesting in terms of creating Snapchat stories and then repurposing those onto Facebook, onto Instagram, onto Twitter, onto other platforms, and really using it as a canvas, as a space to create.
So how does it revolutionize the journalism?
I think what you are seeing is a time when the world is not quite ready for everybody to go live with everything, especially in the journalism space. We have to be quite tentative about when we broadcast live, like a Periscope or a Facebook. You need to have context and you need to worry about oversharing. Whereas Snapchat is just a couple of moments before live. It's not live, it's almost live, which gives you time to add details and to tell a story and to really shape the narrative that you're trying to tell. So for me, Snapchat is the fastest way to get a story out there right now.
Can you tell us about few of your projects, sir?
Yeah, so most recently, the one that's come to most people's attention is the climb against sexual abuse. I was in India with a group of sexual abuse survivors, and we were climbing a mountain in Mysore, which is outside of Bangalore, basically trying to tell the story of young women who had been sexually abused. But in India, by law, you can't show the identity of sexual abuse survivors, of rape survivors in the mainstream media. So we had to come up with a creative way to hide their identities. And of course, you could blur out their faces, much like broadcast. You could also perhaps use silhouettes. But I wanted something that would be more interesting and more intimate, and perhaps a more clever use of being able to hide their identities, but also show their emotions and show their eyes. And Snapchat filters offered that opportunity. When you swipe across the screen and you choose from various filters and you find one that allows them their own creative expression, where they got to choose exactly how they want to be portrayed, and the audience got to see them in a different sort of light and a different sort of detail. It's all about hacking the platform. Snapchat was never designed for sexual abuse survivors. It was never designed to tell this kind of story. But if you see the potential behind the technology, you can do quite powerful stuff. And here's my Snap code if any of your followers want to join me on Snapchat.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. Sir, do we see any future of these Snapchat stories, or is it we have tapped the opportunity already?
I think we're just beginning to understand the potential for emerging platforms like Snapchat in the journalistic context. I think a lot of news agencies are quite tentative about getting into new spaces because they're so comfortable in their bubbles, which is traditional media. And they don't want to commit too much to one platform because they say, well, put all the eggs in Facebook's basket today, and then what happens if it's not the big thing tomorrow? But in particular with Snapchat, I think it's still at the very early stage of that growth. There's still a lot to be uncovered, a lot to be discovered. And again, myself personally, as a journalist, as a storyteller, I'm not married to any platform. I'll use whichever technology offers me the best opportunity to tell the best story, because at the end, that's the most important part.
Can you tell us about any of your new projects that you are planning to begin in coming future?
Absolutely. So I just finished working with Facebook Canvas, which is an incredible piece of software. Yesterday we put out a piece called Bobby on the Glock about police and the way they use arms, guns in the UK, and that they're upping the amount of guns by 600 over the next month. I'm looking, the next major project is again looking for platforms like Canvas that allow you to put all sorts of distributed video content into one space, where I can put a 360-degree video, a Facebook Live, photos, text, infographics, Snapchat videos, all into one page. And finding a platform that allows for that sort of flexible storytelling is where my center of attention is right now.
So do you think that such stories be able to bring any change in the society?
Absolutely. I think something quite interesting is happening. For the last decade, or even longer than that, since Vietnam, there's an old maxim: if it bleeds, it leads. The idea that bad news does well in journalism, and that if you paint the front pages of the newspaper with blood and gore and guts, you sell a lot. We're now seeing on social media, at least our data and analytics show, that positive stories are having the greatest impact, are being shared the most, are being liked the most, are being the most talked about. People want to share stories of hope, of aspirations, and that's how I think it's going to have a positive change. If we look at a video that we did about 2 months ago in Bangalore again, it was called The Ugly Indian, and it was about the idea of Indians cleaning up their own streets and just taking civic responsibility for making India a better place. It wasn't a particularly strong story idea, but it was a nice concept, and that video ended up being watched almost 6 million times. So it just goes to show that social video has great potential to travel very far and to have overarching impacts and start new ideas and concepts.
Okay, so that means that we have just started tapping the potential of not only Snapchat stories but of all the digital platforms, right, sir?
That's absolutely right. And I think we can't be married to just Snapchat or to just one platform. You've got to go quite literally where the audiences are. And again, go back to where has the best technology. I mean, in the 6 years that I've been doing this, from covering the Syrian civil war to being a broadcast journalist in South Africa, it's constantly been an evolution of different technologies. Initially, we were using Twitter and Skype to some degree.